Hi guys, welcome to another episode of The Aspiring Entrepreneur. I hope you're having a happy holiday season, spending time with family. And this week, it's going to be a short week for us. So we have 3 trading days and a half day on Christmas Eve. So with that said, of course, I wish you guys the best of luck. I'm excited for what's going to bring for all of us on 2021. Hopefully a much better year than all the sort of drama we had this year and a lot of the issues and of course, COVID being the center of a lot of people's concerns. So with that said, guys, I wanted to go over in this video Moderna. It's been a couple weeks since we have talked about it. It was a hot stock a couple weeks ago with all of the moves it was making and sort of the price predictions that we had talked about. So I wanted to just do a follow-up video. If you're still in the stock and you're kind of wondering what to do, what to expect, it's been quite a ride. Between Pfizer and Moderna, they've really been the leading vaccines. And my personal opinion about the stock is, it received some downgrades and Moderna's had all this, these issues. But, if you really think about it, Moderna was really the leader from the start. And, we knew that the government was sponsoring grants. I think it gave like a $400 million grant over the summer. Moderna was like a $12 stock a year ago. And, it just had this amazing run. So when it was trading, $40 and $50 and $60, we all knew this was the leader. But the COVID stocks pretty much from summer to about October, November weren't really in play because they were just going through all these trials. So every time you had this sort of news pop, there was this sort of run up and this sort of pump up. But we always knew that, especially with Moderna, it was selling the news. So if we look back here, we talked about, I've just shorted constantly this stock. And it just traded, even though it looks like it traded sideways, it was this day here on September 8th where we hit $54, guys. So, again, 3 months ago at $54. And so that's the day where I remember all of a sudden we got back up into the 70s and we just started trading sideways, and then we just start seeing this upward band, right? So long period of consolidation, this upward band completely, if you look here from, was it like 10th of November all the way up to, we had like 130% return in a matter of less than a month, right? So if you're a Moderna long, you've been cash money for quite a while. But keep in mind, guys, that when we were making these sort of price predictions and we knew that this thing was about to rip, it was on news that we kind of already knew, right? That Moderna was going to be the leader. So it completely got pumped way off the upper band of the Bollinger Band. So we knew this thing had to come back to earth, which is why it came right below the upper band. But you can see here, right, we were trading as high as 179, 180. So again, if you're a bag holder up here, one of the things we mentioned in that post video was that, it will come back, which it did. But look how many sessions it took, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it took about 5 or 6 trading days just to get back up into the 170s, and then we sold off. So the vaccine, now that it's out, now that it's being sold, what's the profit margin look like? What's the future look like? Okay, so now you've let's say vaccinated, several countries, and you're competing with Pfizer, which has already been out for now a while. Well, the FDA just gave them emergency use for Moderna, so it has the ability now to vaccinate people in masses. But then what happens, right? This isn't, are they trying to get for profit? How much profit can they make, off of this, off of saving people's lives potentially? So there's a lot of this sort of argument of where does a stock go through next, right? It has this technology, it has this ability to, again, massively, vaccinate the population. But now that news is out, what's really going to drive the stock? So what you saw here was this massive pump. Of course, it kind of came back to earth and it reclaimed some of that. And then now you're starting to see the news get digested and it's kind of finding its way back down. So it's, pumped up and now it's sort of unwinding back, trading sideways. Now, why did I outline this on this daily chart? This green level is 135 is because we've constantly bounced off of that. Okay, so we validated that here when we bounced off of that on the massive sell the next day, and then the last 3 days we've been trading sort of sideways. Okay, so we've had these 3 days here, we traded sideways, and the stock hasn't really gone anywhere. Okay, so if you're dip buying Moderna, look at the 135. Now if we break that level, don't be surprised quickly, guys, if we start now getting back into the low 100s. I personally don't see that. I don't see that kind of a sell-off going on. But like I mentioned in the video we did earlier today, is that the stimulus news, which has been out and expected, we're trading at all-time highs on all the indexes, right? So how much more can the stimulus really drive the market? It's going to give people more money to spend and invest in the market. But at the end of the day, how much of that news is maybe already factored in? So, and especially with the Tesla shakeup and the S&P, how much volatility can we expect coming into this Christmas week in regards to what the stock can do? Is it going to unwind some more? Should we look to dip buy? Are we, expecting that Moderna is going to come up with another type of vaccine and it's going to drive the stock higher? How can we get more value out of Moderna, especially when it's in really still in uncharted territory? It doesn't have a lot of sort of trading in the 130s and the 140s. But at the same time, if I'm someone that was trading up here, right? I mean, at the end of the day, you've lost essentially about 20-30% of your value. So again, moving forward into this week, I look for more sideways action. We've validated the 135 dip buy. For whatever reason, if we continue to have a sell-off, like I said, I wouldn't want to get involved until the low 100s, just because given the circumstances, guys, that just in end of November, guys, we're at 105, right? So I mean, we're talking about like 6 weeks where we've just sort of been in this range, but we really haven't had not 6 weeks, excuse me, about 2.5 weeks, 3 weeks, where we've been sort of in the high 100s, in the mid 100s. So let's just be a little more on the cautious side with this. Again, it's getting a lot of downgrades, a lot of negative sort of news, and then we'll probably hear about the CEO selling shares, which obviously drives tanks the stock. But with that said, guys, if you're a long, dip buy 135, no problem. Sell it to the rips. Expect some sideways action here. And then if you're someone who wants to buy sort of a breakout, anything above 147, 150, then we can reclaim and get back up here. But just looking at the band and the way this is, I feel like it's going to be trading sideways, and we've already, like I said, lost about 20-30% from our highs. So we'll definitely reclaim that. And the more shares we can keep up about 135, the more days we sort of trade and exchange shares, and we can keep that rotation, and the longs are staying in the game and they're not selling this off, then yeah, we can definitely reclaim back up here into the 170s. Okay, so I hope that's helpful, guys. Again, if you have any questions or comments, I do respond to any of the comments in the section, so please feel free to add that. Again, I've been a big fan of Moderna, whether I'm short or long. I still love the stock. I think it's great just to see a company that's been doing what it's doing with its technology and the future that it holds. And it's been, of course, like I said, the leader in this sort of vaccine from the start. So if you have any questions or comments, add them below. And like I said, if you enjoyed the video, please feel free to hit the like and subscribe button to the channel. We are 100% free content channel, so anything you can do to help support the channel, I personally appreciate it. And with that said, guys, again, happy holidays. Enjoy this time with your friends and family, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Take care. Bye-bye.